If you're thinking about moving to Washington, there's a good chance you've spent hours looking at homes online, researching neighborhoods, and trying to figure out what life might actually be like here. And after helping a lot of buyers relocate to Washington, I've noticed something interesting. Almost everyone says some version of the same thing after they move. I just wish somebody had told me that before we got here. But there are definitely some things that surprise people once they start living here day to day. So today I want to share 7 things I wish every relocation buyer knew before moving to Washington. And if you're considering a move, this information could help you make a much better decision about where to live and what to expect. My name is Lisa with the Wray Home Team, and I help people relocate to Washington every week. Let's jump in. Number 1. Washington is much bigger than it looks on a map. One of the biggest misconceptions people have before moving here is how far apart things actually are. When you're looking at a map online, it can seem like everything is close together. Seattle, Tacoma, Gig Harbor, Puyallup, Bremerton, Olympia, they all look relatively close. But once you're living here, you realize those drive times can be very different than they appear. For example, I have clients who initially tell me they're willing to commute from anywhere within 30 miles of work. Then they experience I-5 traffic, and suddenly their priorities change very quickly. One thing you'll learn about Washington is that commute times often matter more than actual distance. A 20-mile drive can sometimes take longer than a 40-mile drive, depending on where you're going and what time you're traveling. That's why I always encourage relocation buyers to think carefully about their daily routine before choosing an area. Where will you work? How often will you commute? How important is convenience? Because your daily lifestyle matters far more than a map. Number 2, the rain isn't what most people struggle with. This one surprises almost everybody. When people think about Washington, they immediately think about rain. And yes, we do get rain, but what most people don't realize is that the rain itself isn't the challenge. The gray skies are. Western Washington gets a lot of overcast days during the fall and winter months, and for some people, that's quite the adjustment. The good news is that many newcomers discover the weather is actually way milder than they expected. We don't typically deal with extreme heat, and we typically don't deal with severe winter storms compared to many parts of the country. And because of that climate, everything stays incredibly beautiful green. The trees, the forests, the mountains, the waterfront views, it's part of what makes this area so unique and so beautiful. Most of my relocation clients tell me that once they experience a Washington summer, they completely understand why people love living here. The summers are absolutely incredible. Long daylight hours, comfortable temperatures, beautiful scenery everywhere. And honestly, that's one of the reasons so many people stay. Number 3, every area has its own personality, believe it or not. This is one of the biggest reasons I encourage buyers to spend time learning about different communities before making that purchase. People often assume Washington feels the same everywhere, and it doesn't. It's not even close. Seattle has a completely different vibe than Tacoma. Tacoma has a completely different feel than Gig Harbor. Gig Harbor feels very different than Bremerton, and the counties are the same way. Those differences matter. Some buyers want walkability, some want waterfront living, some want acreage, and some want newer construction. Some want a vibrant downtown atmosphere. There's no perfect area. There's only the area that best fits your lifestyle. And that's why when I work with relocation buyers, I ask a ton of questions. Because finding the right community is often more important than finding the perfect house. Number 4, you don't have to live in Seattle to enjoy Washington. This one is huge. Many relocation buyers initially focus almost entirely on Seattle, especially if that's where their job is relocating to, because it's the city they're most familiar with. But once they start learning about the region, they realize there are so many incredible communities outside of Seattle. Places like Tacoma, Gig Harbor, Bonnie Lake, Bremerton, Silverdale, Port Orchard, Olympia, the list goes on. Each offers something unique. Some offer more affordability, you get more house for the money. Some offer more space. Some offer easier access to water. And some offer a quieter pace of life. And the reality is that many of my clients end up choosing an area they have never even heard of before they contacted me, and they absolutely love it. Number 5, traffic can have a big impact on your quality of life. I know for a fact because I am always in my car. Let's have an honest conversation about traffic. Washington is beautiful and traffic is not, especially along major commuter routes. And what I see happen all the time is buyers focus so heavily on the house, they don't fully think through their daily commute. A beautiful home can quickly lose some of its appeal if you're spending 2 hours a day sitting in traffic. That's why I always encourage clients to drive potential routes if possible, or at the very least, really understand what those commute times look like during peak hours, because where you live affects how you spend your time, and time is your most valuable resource. Number 6, the outdoor lifestyle is real. People move here for many reasons: jobs, family, retirement, lifestyle. But one thing many people don't anticipate is just how much the outdoors becomes part of everyday life. You don't have to be an extreme outdoors person. You don't have to climb the mountain every weekend. But living here naturally encourages people to get outside more. We have incredible waterfronts, parks, trails, boating, fishing, kayaking, hiking, and even something as simple as taking a walk can feel different when you're surrounded by this much natural beauty. Many of my clients tell me their overall quality of life improves simply because they spend more time outdoors. Number 7, community matters more than the house. This might be the most important one. People often spend months researching homes, but they spend very little time thinking about community. And yet community is what impacts your daily life the most. It's your neighbors, your favorite coffee shop, your gym, your church, your local businesses, your routines, your friendships. The buyers who seem happiest after relocating aren't necessarily the ones who bought the biggest, prettiest house. They're the ones who found a place where they genuinely feel connected, a place that feels like home, and that's something worth thinking about as you're planning your move. If you're considering a move to Washington, I hope this gave you a better understanding of what life here is really like. The truth is, Washington isn't perfect. No place is. But for many people, the lifestyle, the scenery, the opportunities, the sense of community make it an incredible place to call home. If you're thinking about relocating and you'd like help figuring out which area might be the best for your lifestyle, feel free to reach out. My team and I help relocation buyers throughout the Puget Sound region, and we're always happy to be a resource. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, because every week we share information about living in Washington, relocating to the Pacific Northwest, and navigating the local real estate market. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free to